Welcome to the Norristown area high school football game against the Pennridge Rams. There's the Norristown team right now. I'm Eric Halverson, here with Brian Weber on a crisp night in November.
Fine weather follows my friend here like sheep follow a sheep herder.
I'm not too sure about that. Last game I was at, it was a terrible game.
Well, I can't speak for you there.
Okay, anyway, Norristown comes into this game with a 4-3 record, 3-2 in their division, and Pennridge is at 1-5 within the division. Norristown should have a good shot at winning this game.
Well, of course, they're expected to win, which could put a little more pressure on their backs.
Whereas last week, they just completed a big upset of Abington here at Roosevelt Field.
But knowing Coach Grove, I wouldn't be looking at a letdown for this Eagle team tonight.
Yeah, these kids only have about 9 games a year, and they want to make them all count.
There's no loafing around on this squad.
Especially when you're not paid. Okay.
Exactly.
Norristown's outscored their opponents 106-95 this year, with the most of their yardage being gained on the ground.
Which is also a good example of ball control and time of possession in most cases.
That's true, and they have a strong offensive line, and they're able to get a lot of holes.
And winning this game, of course, I'm not giving the game to them already, but if they could win this, they'd be around the top of the Colonial Division.
Yeah, they'd have a good shot in there. There's the captains coming out for the toss. For Pennridge, those captains are number 13, Ryan Lamonaco. He's a fullback. Number 34, Jim Terra. And number 64, Jeff Kosh. For Norristown, we got Jeff Thomas, Craig Jones, Jeff Natali, and
Mike Zadroga.
Mike is probably not going to play this game. You see him out there with a crutch.
And the toss?
You think it's heads or tails, Brian?
Definitely heads.
Let's hope the Eagles play heads up today.
I expect them to.
Norristown will receive.
And the cheerleaders are off and cheering.
Good night for them. Last time I was here, I mentioned it was rainy. You should have seen the track out there, Brian. I tell you, it was puddly, there was mud. The cheerleaders had mud all over their legs. It was a disgrace. It was disgusting. And the band left after the first quarter. It was so wet. Anyway, we're about to start here.
Then I guess it would be safe to say that I brought the fine weather with me.
Yeah, that would be the safe thing to say. Fine weather follows you like the sheep follow the sheep herder. And there's a nice shot of the cheerleaders. Led this year by Jen Coons, who paid me $1 to say that.
Well, regardless of how much she paid you, they do work hard down there, too.
Yeah, and they deserve all the credit that we give them.
They won't go through the physical contact like the football players do, but they work hard in different ways.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned, they were very muddy. Okay, kicking off will be Chad Morgan for Pennridge. And back to receive, looks like Bucky Kelly and Neil Darden. Almost no wind at all right now. So both the running and the passing games will be good tonight. Expect to see a lot of offense. There's the kickoff. It's a short one. It goes to, that looks like Darden, and he breaks up the middle. Still breaks tackles all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Gang tackled.
Good little return there.
And the teams, as you mentioned, because of the weather, will be able to follow their game plans by what they want to do and by what the other team lets them do, not by who's going to drop a ball from wet hands.
First offensive play of the game. Norristown has a full house backfield. No, that's Bucky Kelly splitting out to the right. Handoff goes up the middle. A big gain out there for Darden. He picked up, I'd say about 20, 25 yards. That was a nice little run, and they're getting good blocking to begin this game.
Yeah, this far they are. Dobbs goes out wide left.
Same formation. Let's see what Lester does. Lester, by the way, Mike Lester playing quarterback, hands off to Jackson. It's a sweep down the right side. He gets upended towards the 25-yard line. That was Steve Jackson.
A nice sweep as he hurdled Hollenbach, who also got a piece of him and
made the tackle.
Therefore is credited with the tackle.
That brings up a first down again. Norristown already has 2 first downs.
Dobbs again, wide left.
2 plays, 2 first downs. That's efficiency for you.
I'll tell you.
Okay, Lester hands off up the middle. Less of a gain that time. That was Darden. Looks like the line is opening a lot of holes up here.
Oh yeah, and they have that receiver out there, Dobbs, who's averaging a little over 20 yards a carry. They're not opting to use him yet, of course, because of those big holes.
That looks like Mike Maggio playing center in place of Mike Zadroga, and he's doing a good job, as you can tell. That's handed off to Bucky Kelly, and he doesn't pick up any. They tried the left side that time, and it didn't work.
Well, it only takes so long until people figure you out, and I've run every play.
Norristown likes to do that, though, and they found success. It's just where they run that's keeping the opponent off guard.
It's a 3rd and 1.
That's a 3rd and 6. First quarter. Okay, anyway, 9:39 to go. Lester hasn't thrown yet. And he pitches out to Jackson. He's got running room, gets a nice block from Darden, and he moves all the way down to the 10 for the first down.
That big Studemeyer takes care of the outside. He's a big guy to try and get around.
Just how big is Studemeyer? Studemeyer looks to be 5'11", 220. Okay, it looks like they have Darryl Dobbs split to the right this time. Full house backfield. Lester handing off.
Wow.
Up the middle.
Faked me on that one.
Yeah, I didn't know who had the ball.
Oh.
And that's a fumble.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Oh, boy.
And after an impressive drive, which took the Eagles all the way into deep Pennridge territory.
In less than 3 minutes.
They cough it up.
Well, it's at the 4-yard line. Poor field position for Pennridge, if that's any consolation.
You would think so.
Okay.
Quarterback Chris Dalton.
Hands it off, up the middle, no gain, good stop. In on the tackle was Craig Jones.
He was stuffing up the middle. Another gang tackle attempt.
Also in on the stop was David Lockwood.
And it's 2nd and 7. 8:31 to go in the first quarter.
That was Brad Frederick with the ball. They've got Chad Morgan out to the right. And Dalton takes the snap, gives... Oh, he runs a little up the middle. Pardon me. Looked like a little track to the right.
Yeah, these teams look pretty much like they're throwing a lot of tricks at the other team this.
Well, yeah, a lot of good fake with the handoffs, but you're not going to run on Norristown, I tell you. Not this team, anyway.
Well, it's 3rd and 4. This would be the time you think they go to the air.
Norristown is 4th in the area in giving up rush yardage. They don't give it up too much, is what I'm trying to say. Dalton rolls out left.
The play-action pass.
The pass, yeah.
And a bad one at that.
Yeah, he overthrew his man. Good coverage there. That brings up 4th and 4.
And the punter will be standing about on his own goal line.
7:35 to go in the quarter.
Eagles men back are at about the 40.
That looks like Kelly back there to receive the punt. It's a high but short kick. In fact, that lands somewhere near the 30.
He just barely got that away. Harbaugh was in there in a hurry, and it looked like the punter shortened up on it a bit.
Yeah, that goes for about a 25-yard kick. There's our great Norristown band.
If they can't hype up a crowd in a football team, I don't know what band can.
Oh, no, and that sounds to me like a rendition of Sloopy Come On.
And Come On does the offense of Norristown. But we have a timeout to the Norristown Eagles.
Well, my mistake. I believe the name of that song is Sloopy Hang On. Neither one of us were around when it was originally made.
That's for sure.
Once again, I'm Eric Halverson here with Brian Weber.
I gotta wonder what Grove is calling this timeout for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm no coach, but there's plenty of time left in the game.
Maybe to hear the end of the song.
Or to make good use of his offensive position here at the Pennridge 35.
Yeah, they don't want to cough up the ball again, I'll tell you that much.
But I doubt a timeout is going to stop that.
Right, but if they can spend the most of the night within Pennridge's end of the field, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Of course, they do have to put the points on the board is the main thing.
Yeah, you can't keep losing the ball when you get around their 5-yard line or so, but we don't expect that to happen.
But we do expect them to get back down to the 5-yard line. They got Dobbs out to the right, full house backfield. Lester looking to pass, he ducks one, rush and he throws deep to Dobbs. Oh, he had a shot at the catch. Some good defense was put down by Jason Clementitz.
And just tipped away at the last minute.
Yeah, well, he had a shot at it. It looked like it might be intercepted, but Dobbs did a good job defending offensively, shall we say.
And Lester, meanwhile, was ducking Hollenbach, who was flying in from the left side. And he did a good job to avoid that and then throw up the pass he did.
The ball slipped in his hands for a second there. I thought he might fumble it, but he did a good job holding onto it and getting a decent pass away. But that little hesitation probably cost him a touchdown because Dobbs had to slow up for that ball. The timing was off. Anyway, Jackson tries to go to the right. Oh, and he gets brought down before the line of scrimmage, wrestled down.
He's collared down by Kosh.
I tell you.
Who is no slouch himself.
They look like they're going to Jackson to the right and Darden up the middle.
And Dobbs deep right.
Dobbs once again to the right. The ball is at the right-hand hash marks at the 37-yard line of Pennridge. Lester looks to pass on 3rd and 12. Throws deep to Bucky Kelly. Oh! Oh, and he makes the catch. A beautiful grab at the 6.
And he did a perfect job of knowing where the sideline was and keeping in bounds on a perfect pass by Lester.
I'll tell you, that was a perfect pass. He had 3 white shirts near him, but none was close enough to make the play.
The cornerback certainly blew it there. I mean, he was open by a lot.
Yeah. But Lester had to hit him, and that was their gamble. They didn't think Lester could hit him. Lester, by the way, Mike Lester has over a 60% completion percentage this season.
Dobbs is covered by Milkowicz.
That's Lester handing off up the middle. Touchdown to Darden.
Yep, that quick.
Oh, boy.
And it seems the defensive line of Pennridge has been pushed around the whole game. Lucky for them, they're only down 7-0, or 6-0, excuse me, at this point.
Just like that, it's 6-0. Could be 12. They're lucky.
6:11 to go in the first quarter.
And that's the Rodney Miller, of course, to kick the extra point. Snap to Lester, and he botches the snap. Instead, he throws, and it's broken up.
Broken up by number 20, Jason Clementis.
That pass was headed to Darden, looking for the 2 points after a botched snap. Cheerleaders begin to throw the footballs into the crowd. Once again, we lament that they cannot reach us up here in the box. Although there have been stories of people who have thrown it over this box.
Yes, but if we could get Lester out there to throw a few.
Yeah, I'd be averaging more yards a catch than Dobbs.
Then they would have you out on the field instead of right here. I might have Dobbs beside me.
Well, I hope you're satisfied with me. Anyway.
Certainly.
Miller will kick off. Chad Morgan is back for Pennridge Rams. Rams have nice helmets, don't they?
They certainly do. But I'm sure they think Norristown has nice helmets too with that.
Yeah, Norristown does have a nice helmet.
The grass is always greener on the other side is the way I look at it.
That's a good way to look at it. There's the kick by Miller, low line drive. Taken by number 34 at his own 5. He's got a few key blocks and nice tackle.
Jim Terra up over the 32.
Yeah, good stop there by Steve Jackson to flip him over. The band is pumping out songs quicker than I can pump out words here. And the cheerleaders are going crazy. You can tell they ate their Wheaties before this game.
Chad Morgan is wide left on this one.
Okay, he's got an I formation. Not anymore. As number 10 goes in motion, that's Frederick. Anyway, he hands off up the middle. A gain of 1 at the most.
Craig Jones was in there again, along with...
I believe Natali was in there.
Jeff Natali.
Oh, he got 4 out of it.
And Norristown is winning the Battle of the Trenches thus far.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Tricks or no tricks, they're certainly controlling the Pennridge team.
They got big guys up there. Okay. Dalton barks the signals and pitches out to the left to Frederick. He gets about 3 before he's taken out of bounds.
Chasing from behind was Griffin. Ran him out toward the sideline and then, of course, was popped by the oncoming Eagles defense. It's going to be 3rd and 5. They're sitting at their own 36 left hash marks.
Dalton's got 3 men in his backfield and 1 split to the right. He looks to pass and overthrows his receiver
Good
again.
pressure.
We've seen him throw twice, and both times he overthrew his man.
The Eagles defense slid through that offensive line like a sieve.
Pass intended for Chad Morgan. So the receiver was open.
Yeah.
Thomas was playing him loosely.
Their QB, Dalton, has missed a couple guys wide open tonight.
Yeah, and they're in the punt. Punting, I believe, is Jim Terror. And that's Bucky Kelly with Goodley. Goes to Chaikeet Goodley. And he's down at the 37.
Harbaugh was in again on the kicker.
Harbaugh has applied good pressure tonight.
And there's 4:14 to go in the first quarter.
6-0 Eagles. They've been moving the ball well, and Pennridge has not been moving it at all.
And they really have not been stopped yet in this game. I mean, the fumble.
Maybe one play, maybe 2 plays they've been stopped. Lester's thrown, and he's run the ball a bit. Not him personally, but he's handing off again to Darden on a little trap up the right side. Darden knocks down a couple of blockers, knocks down more men. He carries men out to the 33. Wow, that's power in those legs.
Finally run down by Potosny and a couple of his friends, while on the Eagles, a nice block on the outside by David Lockwood to spring him free out into the open right side of the field.
Once you get Darden in the open, he's not going to be brought down easily.
That's for sure.
You just saw that right there. He just carried men and knocks him over. Okay, a nice little game there. Looks like about 25, 30 yards. Lester once again hands off up the middle. That's Bucky Kelly, and he breaks
Look at him go.
He keeps going, and it takes 3 men to bring him down at the 10.
And 1 man is down still for Pennridge.
Well, when you got runners running you over like Mack trucks.
And the Pennridge coach has got to be befuddled with what to do with this Norristown offense the rest of the game.
It's pretty much just the fact that the offensive line is making the holes and the running backs are breaking the tackles.
They're explosive, these running backs. Just popping through those holes with great speed.
That's true, and there's not much the coach can tell him. I mean, Coach Moyer of the Pennridge High School can't say you got to make those tackles, because if they can't make the tackles, they can't make the tackles.
It's all a matter of skill and heart.
That's true.
And sometimes heart just isn't good enough.
Anyway, it's 1st and 10 at the 11 of Pennridge. Norristown moving the ball on another good drive.
3:22 still to go in the first quarter.
I believe they've only come up with 1 third down so far, Norristown has, and they completed a good long pass to get that get the first down. Lester hands off to Jackson, and he goes nowhere. Pick up about 3, maybe. Brad Frederick on the stop. He's been making a few tackles for Pennridge.
It's going to be 2nd and 9.
That Jackson, by the way, has rushed for 335 yards coming into this game. They got Dobbs to the left, Kelly out to the right, and they hand off up the middle.
And he is stuffed.
Yeah.
That play fooled no one.
Yeah, that was probably Darden.
Potosny was in there again.
By the way, Darden has rushed for 450 yards coming into this game. A balanced rushing attack by the Eagles this year.
And then they can also beat you with the long pass, surprise you like they did down the sideline the last time.
About 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Norristown ahead 6-0. 3rd down. They hand off to Jackson on a sweep to the right, and he's brought down in the backfield by number 13, Ryan LaMonaco. Nearly took him right out of his shoulder pads there.
They've done that a couple other times on the Eagles, running those sweep plays that get blown down.
And that's just a matter of the speed of the Pennridge linebackers.
Brad Frederick had his back covered, running him to the outside. He managed to outrun him, but not the rest of the team.
When you got Jackson running laterally like that, it's tough to get around the corner.
Field goal attempt. Lester will hold.
And that's Rodney Miller in to try a 25-yarder. Miller's had a bit of struggling this year after a good year last year. He's a junior, I believe. 25-yard line. 4th and 9. Kick is up. Looks good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That would have gone in from 35.
But perhaps a minor victory for Pennridge in that they stopped the Eagles finally.
Without the help of a turnover.
Exactly. Because you're not going to get turnovers the whole game.
Well, the band is playing its song, and the cheerleaders are kicking their legs once more. And all is dandy here at Roosevelt Field. There's those cheerleaders. Look like the Rockettes, don't they?
All over again. I wonder if Grove is happy with this so far.
I'm sure he is, because they're just controlling the ball, controlling the trenches, which is all you can ask for. They've got 9 points up there, and their defense has been very stingy.
But perhaps the lead should be more than 9.
Well, should be, could be, would be.
Of course, you say that after a loss, too, don't you?
Yeah, you always say it after a loss. After a win, you don't pay much attention to it. And with a 9-0 lead, Coach Grove can't be too mad. There's the kickoff. Picked up at the 15. Oh, boy, and he's brought down. Oh, wow.
Morgan is smashed at his own 20.
Hit by Stoudemire first, and then in comes a bunch of Eagles.
We mentioned how big Stoudemire is.
Anyway, ball's at the 25. 10-yard run back.
He was one fellow you wouldn't want to meet alone in a dark alley in the middle of the night.
Oh, boy. You're going to give me nightmares.
Chad Morgan wide left.
And Dalton hands off up the middle. Oh, and he's stuffed at pickup of 3. Got to the 25. Forward momentum got him there. After that, it was all backwards.
About 55 seconds to go in this quarter.
That was Chad Morgan, I believe. Maybe not. I think it was. Well, I can't figure it out. Somebody ran that ball.
Chad was wide left on that one. He made a block in the inside, but...
Okay, Dalton looks to pass. Some excitement, and he hits his man out near the 30.
Oh, boy.
And he upends a Norristown tackler, keeps going past the 35.
Flipping over the top, and I stress over, was Jeff Thomas.
Oh, I'll say, he really flew there.
And finally, a pass completed.
Yeah, I think the catch was made by Jim Terra. So, first down for Pennridge. That's good news for them.
I'll say, and he hit the open man this time.
And we'll get one play off in this final play of the first quarter. Handoff up the middle. Oh, and he's stuffed after.
That was Jim Terra. And that'll bring a close to the first quarter. Eagles 9, Rams 0.
Good quarter. Tackle made by Darryl Bailey and Bucky Kelly. If you're noticing, a lot of these names are familiar. Well, the Eagles have a lot of players that play both offense and defense.
Very multi-talented squad they have this year.
And there's no real standout, which is something that's different from previous years. They used to have the Rutmans, the Ramses, the Sesses.
They can't rely on the big play like they used to, or the big player like they used to.
But the big plays have come. They've had long runs, they'd have good passes, but balance. Balance is the key to Grove's 90 squad.
Everybody has a say in who wins.
That's got to make these kids feel good.
Yeah.
All right, Pennridge has the ball. Second down at their own 37, 2nd and 8.
Jim Terra is wide right on this formation.
The band is pumping me up. I hope it's doing the same for the players. Okay, Dalton's got a man in motion behind him. Looks to throw on 2nd down. Fires it, picked off! Holy Toledo! And that's... Is that Chmielewski? that's
Talone. Andy Talone.
Andy Talone with a big interception run back down to the 17-yard line.
And there was but one man left to get him, and that man did. Tough luck for Andy.
Well, Andy made a nice pickoff there. He's playing linebacker, I believe, and he just cut right in front of the receiver.
I wonder if it was a matter of Dalton not seeing him there.
Well, he tried to fire it in there. Maybe he tried to force it a bit too much. Okay, Lester's got 3 men in his backfield. Gives to Jackson, who finds some running room, gets good blocking.
Nice
and
cut.
Gets all the way down to the
5.
Yeah.
Nice cut there by Jackson.
Cuts like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. And then some.
Oh.
For those of us who just went through Halloween.
Yeah, well, we saw a few Freddy Kruegers just a couple of nights ago.
Along with Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they don't do much for cutting.
Yeah, their swords are plastic. Okay, Lester looking to go 6 more yards for a second score. And he hands off to Darden. Darden's their big touchdown man this year, I tell you.
They faked the pitch there and tried to slide underneath the trap blocking for a score that time. It didn't go for the score, but he gained a little bit.
Pickup of 2. It's 2nd and goal at the 4. And Darden has 4 touchdowns coming into this game, make it 5 now, and he had 3 in the game against Truman.
You'd guess they'd run here again.
Yeah, they go to Bucky Kelly up the middle, touchdown.
Yep.
Easy as pie.
And it's 15-0. And this thing is running away from Pennridge quicker than they would have liked.
Well, we expected to see this, but I don't know if we expected it to be so quick. Norristown striking like lightning, and their defense is what's been holding strong and thwarting Pennridge. When Pennridge has their own defense out there so long, or so often, because the offense comes out 4 and out.
And Rodney Miller through with the extra point. And it looks like Pennridge has quite a hole to come out of. 10:39 to go in the quarter.
Wow, listen to those oboes.
As well as a couple jesters along the side.
That little display was definitely meant for the fans as the band turned around.
They're certainly not mocking Pennridge, but having a fun time out here.
That's fun and good crowd on hand for this beautiful night, if we haven't mentioned it enough already.
Which can be credited to myself.
Brian the sheep herder.
And the footballs are again ready to be thrown.
They're gonna run out of footballs if they don't watch it.
Yeah.
All right, just see Matt Cusimano caught one down there. Good for Matt. Anyway, the kickoff is fumbled. Oh boy, and somebody just got popped.
And finally, Harbaugh jumped on top of the pile. A good special teams day so far for Harbaugh.
Yeah, and Alton Griffin was also nearby, looking for that fumble, but Pennridge picked it up. No return, and it's at the 25-yard line. A good low kick that time by Miller forced the fumble.
A big thing for Pennridge now is to settle down and not to go through another turnover. They can't afford to do that again.
Would you stay on the ground if you were Pennridge?
I certainly would here, even though you're getting stopped.
Yeah, they do. Dalton hands off up the middle, and the fullback gains a few yards.
He got about 5 on that.
Yeah, good pickup. That was, I believe that was Kurt Fallon. First time he's had the ball tonight. He's a big guy, I tell you. He just epitomizes a fullback.
And you usually hear when a quarterback throws an interception, you want him to go out there and throw another short pass real quick, but not necessarily so young.
Right, not in a high school game. Oh, another handoff up the middle. That goes for near a first down, probably is.
Nice blocking there.
Yeah.
He got about 6 out of that.
Just right up the middle one more time. Darryl Bailey made the stop.
9:34 to go in the half.
As LaMonaco picked up the first down. Dalton's got 3 men in his backfield one more time. Probably will run again. And does. A little trap to the left. Pushes a few tacklers for about 7 yards. Good run.
Hey, they're controlling the offensive line this time, or the defensive line, Pennridge is, as they're winning trench warfare at the moment, and that could be a bit scary for the Norristown defense, although they are not really in threatening position yet.
I tell you, I'm scared. They haven't gotten hit for a loss or anything in the past 3-4 plays.
And it's just straight up, straight running, straight blocking, and it's working.
There it is again. Fallon goes for the first down. Possibly he got stood up hard there by the Norristown defense. He got the first down. Darryl Bailey stood him up.
And they moved the chains again. Good tackle, but you don't want him making that tackle out near the first down marker.
You want that one at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Right, but that's where you want all your tackles.
And things don't always work out the way you want. Put it this way, Pennridge still has 0.
Do you get the feeling Pennridge is setting him up for a long pass? Oh, Dalton looks to pass. He rolls out, throws to his tight end, number 88, where the catch is made, and he's down at the 30.
And that would be Hollenbach, and he's been all over the field tonight.
Hey, that's a good little pickup there.
And you certainly called one there. I mean,
yeah.
You'd think you'd be looking in the playbook of that Pennridge squad.
Well, I do have a copy of that, but let's not tell anyone. All right, 1st and 10 again. Pennridge is moving the chains quickly.
By the way, my answer to your question was about to be no. It's a good thing I didn't say it.
Oh, thank you for being honest. Dalton gives up the middle, pickup of about 5.
I wouldn't want to sit here and lie to all our viewers.
And many viewers we have. I think both of them would have been mad at you.
That, of course, a joke. We have a Sumly crowd up here tonight. Meaning of great sum.
Okay, number 13 in motion. Dalton looks to give up the middle to Fallon, and he gets
this time.
Holy
not
cow.
this time.
Talone was in on the stop, as was Craig Jones.
It looked like they were going to fake a bit of the option there and slice the cutter inside through the hole, but there was no hole to go through.
They're not having much success running it to the right, but the left and the middle has been finding some good holes. And you gotta give credit to the offensive line
Of Pennridge.
right? Like Howie Miller, number 62. He's been opening up holes on the left. Dalton gives to the left side, which is Ryan LaMonaco. Pickup of close to 3. That's about 4 and 1.
And
4th and 1.
Steve Usel's on that play, number 51, just flattened an eagle from the backside.
There's another example of good running to the left, but they don't get the first down. 4th and short. What do you think they do here? 16 points down, 6:31 to go in the half.
I think they're going to go for it. Well, that could be a first down anyway.
It certainly seems like the best place to go for it. Even if you don't get it, you got the Eagles backed up in their own territory.
Yeah.
And it's too far for a field goal. You really have no choice.
Unless you want to pin the Eagles in here, but what's that going to do? They've been controlling your defensive line the whole game.
Yeah, if they can go 60 yards on you, they can go 80 yards on you.
And that straight-up blocking has been working for Pennridge thus far. Wouldn't be surprised to see that here.
Okay, Dalton takes it himself, and he gets it. I think he got it.
It looked
very close.
And they stop play to take a view at that. First down, Pennridge.
Oh, and that's a big one. if they can get points out of this, they got to consider it a victory. They can go in the locker room with a, shall we say, a 9-point deficit. They got to be liking it.
Pennridge has a bit of fan support themselves, but not that of which we couldn't all count on our hands and toes here in the press box.
Okay, Dalton hands up. Oh, and hitting the backfield.
Number 20 for the Eagles was in there. That would be Griffin.
And also, Lockwood made a big hit there. Band is playing something a bit more somber now.
Meanwhile, Bucky Kelly is going to the ice with the trainer there. I wonder what that could be about.
Hey, there's a good eye. Okay, Dalton looks to pass. He rolls to his right. He runs instead, and boy, does he get hit hard.
He was stuffed.
He had some momentum, but it was all concluded when he hit the tackler.
He got
Darryl Bailey.
Darryl Bailey, like a brick wall, stood up to that. Dalton?
Dalton, yeah. That's Chris Dalton. Anyway, that brings up a 3rd and long. Did you go to the air here? They haven't picked up 9 yards all night on the ground.
I do, of course. I'm not the Pennridge coach, and I've been wrong once already tonight.
By the way, the Pennridge coach is Bruce Moyer. Okay, and he goes to the air.
Hey!
He's getting good pressure from Alton Griffin. And he throws incomplete.
Yep.
Wouldn't have been anywhere near a first down, but great pressure by Alton Griffin.
And Craig Jones, yes. They are both chasing him like a madman. Madmen.
Yeah. Yes. They rushed him right out of the pocket, and he had nowhere to go. He was throwing across his body, which is very hard.
4:30 remaining in the half, and it's... Yep.
Now, this is a good decision. They're going for the field goal. And that's going to be a long one, 37-yarder.
And their kicker there was very deliberate in setting up his spot to kick.
Yeah, that's Mike Boyle. He's going to try a long one, 37. Doesn't have enough.
Oh, no, never. And I venture to believe they could try that one 6 times over and it wouldn't reach on those either.
I don't know. We might just have seen a fluke kick by Boyle. Well,
frankly, I don't think he has the leg.
Okay, you're entitled to think that.
And that I will, as we watch the Eagles take over. 1st and 10, 4:25 to go in the half on their own 15, 20-yard line.
Coach Grove got to be happy about the fact that they bent, but they didn't break.
And that's always a big miscellaneous factor in games.
Okay, hands off to Jackson. He bounces off a tackler, and he goes all the way out to the right side, pick up about 4 or 5.
Bouncing off would-be tacklers like a pinball through a pinball machine.
And wow, that time it went full tilt. Brad Frederick in on the stop.
Clock is still ticking down. You'll see the Eagles spend a little bit less time in the huddle, I would think.
Oh, I don't know. They're content with a 16-point lead. You'll see him running the ball a lot, trying to get rid of the clock. And he goes up the middle. Good gain.
1st down again.
He dragged the whole line with him that time. It was kind of neat.
That it was.
Darden's picked up, what would you say tonight? Maybe 50 yards so far?
At least.
Well, they've been going to Jackson, mixing it up.
That's true, but Darden's certainly a flashy runner. You certainly notice him out there.
Oh, yeah. He got the one big gain, I believe, that 25, 30-yarder. Anyway, Lester pitches this time to number 32. I believe that's Harbaugh.
That is.
Goes to the left, and he picks up about 5.
He's brought down from behind by Ryan Lamonaco.
A good tackle that time, or he could have broken it all the way.
And good blocking by the Eagles' offensive line, and also a good run by Harbaugh to break himself to the outside.
And to add to the compliments, a good call. A good little pitch to the right. Everything was good.
certainly no letdown. Grove has this team ready.
All right, Leicester's got an I formation with Dobbs split right. He gives to the right to Harbaugh. Oh, and he got taken down in the backfield. Holy Toledo.
That was number 37, Paul Novelli, in on the tackle.
And that might have lost a couple of yards.
That was a big tackle. He just got him by the foot there.
That was a strange play. Leicester faked to both of his men in the I formation and then pitched to Harbaugh there.
And there was a hole there. Just a good tackle. It was all on a good tackle.
Closed quick on him.
And it's 3rd and 7.
They got Dobbs to the right now. Only one man in the backfield, looking for a pass. Leicester dropping back, firing, hits his man Harbaugh. That's a first down if they give him the forward momentum there.
Oh, the ref is creeping in.
Yeah, he needs a good spot.
Really doesn't look like he's going to get it.
Well, I don't think it matters because I think Grove would go for it in this situation anyway.
Probably.
The spot looks good, actually. The spot does look very good. Oh, maybe not. They bring the chains out. I was seeing it from a little angle.
Harbaugh was kind of off his feet when he got tackled, maybe on one foot, and that could lead to perhaps a bad spot.
Oh, and they're just inches away.
Yeah. They're going to go for it, of course.
We hope so. We, the fans, hope so. We hear some people in the booth saying, go for it, go for it.
And they're going to get their wishes. Grove is not one to sit down and watch things happen.
Yeah, he wants to run out the clock, too. If he gets this play, it's down to about a minute, and that'll do it for a 16-point halftime lead. Full house backfield. About what you'd expect here. And they go up the middle. They got it. Simple as 1, 2, 3.
They hit the first man out of that full man backfield, which was Neil Darden.
And he's their guy they go to in the pressure situations when they need the short yardage.
And there you go. He got it. And of course, the Pennridge defense right now is probably just hoping that no more points are scored by the Norristown team.
I don't know if Norristown's going to actually try and put those points on the board. But Leicester does look to pass. He's going to look for more points. Oh, and he's flushed out of the pocket. Oh, he spun down at the 42.
Novelli was in there.
Good thing Leicester got up quickly, or he may not have gotten up at all.
Not to be critical, but when Leicester made his first move there, he had Dobbs wide clear open.
Yeah?
Down the left side. He had his man by at least 5 yards, both ways. And perhaps could have been 6 more.
We got 37 seconds, and I think we'll look for the Eagles to try and put more points on the board with that last play. They run up the middle to Darden, which is a decent way to do it, actually. But he only picks up about 3. No, that was Jackson, I'm sorry. Good
and
tackle
right
by
there,
Miller.
Big Jeff Miller tripped over his player who was standing behind him and fell on his bottom.
Maybe his kaboopski. Anyway, it's at the 45 of the Eagles. 24 seconds in the half, and Grove called the timeout. I was supposed to stop the clock.
And that would, of course, lead us to believe they want to go for another score. Look for the big play again.
You think they'll go to Dobbs?
He, too, may have seen Dobbs open.
Actually, their leading receiver this year is Craig Jones. He has 15 catches.
We haven't seen much of him tonight, though, on the offensive scale.
I'm not sure I've seen him at all. Oh, no, he's made good tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's in there right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
And the band starts playing its tune again.
This is one of my personal favorites.
What would you call it?
Well, I didn't write it, so I wouldn't name it. But if I did name it, I'd call it Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Quite an onomatopoeia of a name.
Leicester, oh, and he got hit as he hit through. Oh, boy, he got rocked.
And that was Cusimano, who who leveled Leicester, who waited as long as he could before letting that one fly.
Dominic Cusimano. Jones was the intended receiver, and he threw it over his head. You can see his haste in throwing that ball, though.
Leicester's got to be shaking out a few cobwebs right now.
They do have a good reserve quarterback if they do to go to him. But they're punting with, that's Mike Chmielewski is going to punt it away. And that's funny, no men back.
Wow.
For Pennridge.
And that was a nice punt.
I believe they were just guarding against a fake with 11 seconds left. And nobody back there to receive, you do get a good punt.
Yeah, and of course there's no fake, and Pennridge will take the ball on their own 15.
With just 9 seconds to play, do you think they'll just down it, or do you think they'll go deep?
I'd look for your normal running play up the middle here.
Yeah. It's tough to get, what's that, about 85 yards on one play.
Especially after you've...
But they let the half just run out. The best way to do it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the first half, Norristown leads 16-0. We've seen a good running attack by them. And we'll see what Pennridge has to offer in the second.
That we will.
Welcome back to Roosevelt Field. For us, it was a 15-minute halftime. For you people, it was a blink of an eye. We're back here, and it's 16-0 Norristown after one half.
Certainly an easy-looking first half for Norristown. It was almost like they were coasting through it. But
they gave up some yardage towards the end of this second quarter. And it looked like Pennridge might get some points on the board there. But Norristown stopped them at about the 20.
That could have been because the defense was wearing down, or frankly, maybe they were losing interest in the ball game.
Could be.
Now we're going to take a little bit of time to thank some of the people that go into putting together the Norristown football team. Head coach, of course, is Roger Grove. Assistants, Richard Everts, Joseph Fabrizio, Brian Kennedy, Thomas Parentozzi, and James Pyle. The volunteer coach is Nick Rotundo Jr. Captains of the Eagles, who work the team hard and keep them in line as peers, Craig Jones, Jeff Thomas, and Mike Zidroga. And the statisticians for tonight are Ted Every and James West. And then back to the Norristown squad, athletic director George Ortlip, athletic trainer Dennis Flynn, and the student athletic trainers Melissa Constantino, Stephanie Snivovich, Craig Strong,
Leslie Leslie Zajurga and Karen Wood. The equipment manager is Dennis Sodders. Superintendent Dr. James Holton. Principal Barry E. Spencer. And we'd like to thank the communications people, which tonight, working the camera is Andrea Patty and Mr. Sam Galbraith. And we'd also like to thank Tony Collier for heading up the whole affair.
And now we're getting ready for the kickoff of the second half.
Okay, Rodney Miller gives it a ride. That's caught at the 10. Taken to the 20. Gets out to about the 27 when he's gang tackled by Norristown Blue.
Steve Jackson was in there first.
Carrying the football, I believe, was Jim Terra.
Jackson not only runs the ball, but he plays special teams as well.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 27 to open up the second half. That's Chris Dalton, still in at quarterback for Pennridge. the Pennridge Rams. He pitches back to number 23. He got a lot of room to the right before he's knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 4. That was Darren Manuola. First time we've seen him carry the ball tonight.
And he certainly made good use of his carry by beating the entire defense out to the outside until finally they caught up. It's going to be 2nd and 6, 11:05 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Dalton's got 2 men in his backfield. He's got number 13 in motion, and he gives off on a little option almost. A good stop made by Alton Griffin.
William Kelly was also in there. Call him Bucky.
That's a pickup of a yard, brings up a 3rd and 5 with 10:29 to go in the 3rd quarter.
This 3rd down could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Dalton gave a little audible to one of his running backs there, perhaps. And 2 of them go in motion at once, prompting the flags.
And I think that's going to be on number 62 of Pennridge, who looked like he jumped. Howie Miller. Howie Miller is the man after a few Eagles jumped over, a few Pennridge players jumped over, and then finally Miller flew over the line head first.
They had 2 men in motion at the same time.
That too.
Yeah, and it's against the offense.
And
that's illegal procedure. An illegal position on procedure is the way it's technically defined. A little bit of confusion there, and it's 3rd and 10.
Very much confusion.
Perhaps Dalton shouldn't have turned around and said something to his running backs. Okay, Dalton with the I formation, rolling to the right, firing, and he hits his man, but I don't think he has the 1st down. He caught it jumping backwards.
I think that pass was initially intended for Jim Terra, but perhaps one of his other players picked it off from him coming back to the ball.
And that was Chad Morgan who made the catch.
Yeah.
Jeff Thomas had good defense on him to hold him to a gain of 8. 4th and 2. They're going for it with a 16-point deficit to make up.
Looks like a punt to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Holy cow, am I losing it or what? Anyway, they let it bounce and it goes down to the 30. Maybe I never had it.
Quick, what planet are we on?
Mars?
But on a more serious note,
that was a punt.
The Eagles may have just put the damper on the Pennridge night by stopping him there on the 3rd and 5. With 9:14 to go in the 3rd quarter, they still lead 16-0.
Are you telling me this about seals it up?
From my standpoint, yes.
Oh, I don't think so. You consider 1 turnover here and it's a new ball game. Okay, Lester running to... excuse me, that's
nice.
Bucky Kelly, and he makes a nice cutback.
And then some.
It's another man, and he's got the speed to beat this guy.
25,
he's gonna go
20.
all the way. Oh, but he's pulled down from the back at the 6-yard line. Excellent speed shown there by number 88, Dave Hollenbach. He's made a lot of tackles, and he caught Bucky Kelly from behind.
He certainly did. He moved in on the play, and Bucky cut it back across the right side of the field, the wide side, and finally, I don't know how it happened, but he caught up to him.
Oh, Kelly made a beautiful run there, and you
Certainly.
see how every back on this squad has the ability to break those tackles and make these long runs.
Simply an outstanding run. You can't say more about that. That was just fabulous, the way he moved in between players, shunned off tacklers, and there they sit, 1st and goal from the 8.
So that was about, I believe, a 50-yard scamper. Okay, hands off up the middle to Jackson, and he gets very close to the end, the goal line.
But not in.
But not in.
They'll pick it up, 2nd down. And looks like about 4 yards.
They're calling it 2nd and 3.
7:57 to go in the 3rd.
Actually, that's 2nd and goal from 3. Okay, Lester Hands off up the middle. What else could be expected? And he gets down to about the 1. That was Steve Jackson.
Lester comes over for the signs.
You know what I was just thinking?
What was
football be an interesting game if the field sloped so the offense went uphill till they got to the 50 and downhill after that?
Wouldn't that be something on a muddy day?
Oh boy, I'd like to see that one day. Anyway, Lester looking for a touchdown, gives up the middle where Darden, I believe, is stopped.
Of course, it appears that whoever has the ball, the field is slanted in the way downhill for the Eagles. I mean, they are just pushing Pennridge all over the field.
Maybe they're employing some sort of tactic where they tilt the field for their own favor every time they get the ball. Of course, I don't see that.
I wouldn't bet on that. I think it's just a fine group of young athletes.
I'll say. And I'm sorry for trying to discredit them with the field tilting, and there's a touchdown. It was all downhill that time. No pun intended.
And now it becomes an uphill climb for Pennridge, more of one than they already had.
Okay, picture this. 50-yard line, let's say. Put it lower than the rest of the field, so it's downhill till you get to the 50 and uphill till you get to the end zone. That would make this game interesting. Okay, just a little stipulation. Miller kicks the extra point. Good snap, good hold.
And I think you might all be discrediting the Pennridge club a little bit to think of nice tactics of tilting field to make the game more interesting, as if they are not putting up a good show themselves.
Well, it's 23-0, and the game has lost a bit of interest. You've got to face that.
Well, this is the point in one of these games where everybody goes for their stats. Everyone wants their run, everybody wants their touchdowns, and they say go out and do it.
Furthermore, everyone wants to get into the game, and you might see Coach Grove putting a few more subs in. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that for you, folks.
And of course, 23 to the Pennridge slow-moving offensive attack is lots.
They've had a couple of decent drives, though, tonight. They could easily have 7 points up there. Of course, Norristown could easily have another 7 if they hadn't fumbled deep within Pennridge territory. There's the kick. Caught at about the 5. Oh, and
he's stab tackled.
Yeah, a good job by Harbaugh to hold on to his leg.
Jim Terra was...
I believe that was Chad Moore.
Yeah, that was. And if he could have slid past the one man there, he would add an extra 10. But that's just the way it's been going for this team today.
That was Harbaugh with a good tackle. A good tackle. I don't see any subs in there. It's a little early for that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chad Morgan is wide left.
Okay, and Dalton pitches back. He's got a little bit of block. Oh, but he throws. What a play.
And it's
up. Oh,
and
my
look
goodness.
at him run.
Oh, my gosh. That's a touchdown for Norristown on a Tommy Bacella interception of what appeared to be a pitch and then a pass.
It was a pitch, it was a pass, but it was even complete, but to the wrong player.
They did have a man slightly open, but I don't think they threw it fast enough, you know? The play took a bit of time to concede.
And an early feast for Tommy Bacella and the rest of the Norristown Eagles.
Cornerback screen.
That was quite a trick play, and it backfired.
Yeah, and initially I thought if that quarterback if that player caught the ball, Tommy would have nailed him.
Yeah, he would have, that's true. But
that's what I was initially looking at, and all of a sudden he has the ball and he's running the other way.
Well, it's 30-0 now, but if you're Pennridge, you had to make that play. You had to go all or nothing and take a chance, see if we could get some points on the board.
Yeah.
was just a great play by the safety back there, but
Yeah, and he held his ground out there. He didn't go in for the run or any of that. Perhaps Grove was telling them to watch for the fakes.
I think Grove was probably telling them to back up a little, be a little cautious. Let him get the underneath stuff. Let him run. You know, it can't hurt. So when Bocello was thinking, I'm going to stay back, the trick play did not fool him.
And like magic, 30-0. It doesn't get any better than this. I'd hate to sound like a famous beer commercial.
Let's not name brands here. Okay, bouncing kick. What's that, about the 6th kickoff we've seen tonight from Miller?
Has to be, at least. And
that was Terra on the return, and he gets stuffed at the 25, rather the 20.
And there's 5:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the cheerleaders are up and revving again.
Shouting for their defense to hold tight.
Which it has
Very
today.
Much so. Very much so. All right. Dalton hands off to number 13, Ryan.
And a flag way out in the secondary.
That was Lamonaco getting a couple of yards, and we'll soon see what the flags are all about. There's one sitting there up closer to the line of scrimmage, so you really can't tell.
$30 points. 10 for a quarter already.
Well, it's against Norristown. And that's a 15-yarder.
And that ref threw that flag.
I think they called that a...
They threw that way out from the secondary, the official. That flag.
They called that a illegal, I believe he said, participation.
Got me on that one. And there was a handoff that went for nothing. Pennridge is certainly losing it here. Helped, of course, by a penalty on the Eagles. But
I've just been informed that they had 12 men on the field during that.
No wonder
That's illegal participation.
A little bit antsy on the sidelines.
Okay, and Dalton has a 2nd and 9 here to work with. He's got a man to his right. And he options it out to the halfback with a big hit laid on him by Bucky Kelly.
What's that ever? I think he separated that Ram player into a few different parts.
That was Brad Frederick with a run, and you know, if he hadn't pitched that, he would have got a few little more yardage out. That's an option where he chose the wrong option.
And he certainly would have saved his teammate a few bruises.
Brings up a 3rd and 16.
Chad Morgan is wide left.
They'll probably throw. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they've given up. Nope, they haven't given up. Good to see. Good to see.
Oh, boy.
Big pressure. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for number 13, Ryan Lamonaco.
Perhaps he intentionally overthrew the player.
I believe Andy Talone and Lance Livingston applied good pressure.
Had that player caught the ball, he would have been behind the line of scrimmage from where he would have caught it. And besides that, he had 3 Eagles coming in to attack him.
Once more, we've got Norristown Area High School Eagles leading 30-0 over the Pennridge High School Rams. Eagles looking to run a record of 5-3 on the season and 4-2 in the league. Pennridge probably will drop to 1-6 as a league record. Division record, rather.
Yeah, you're not just going to score 30 points against the Eagles. defense, especially after you've been held scoreless through the whole first half and at least 10 minutes into the third quarter.
They're having a tough enough time scoring 3.
And here's the punt.
I'm glad you told me that this time. Pacello looked to block, and it goes to Shaikh Goodley. He gets nowhere. Boy, 4 guys took him out.
Bum rushed at the 35.
Applying a lot of that hit was Jeff Kosh. What can we say now?
Well, Eagles number 30, Tommy Bacella, certainly a surprise scorer for the day, and there he had a good shot at blocking a kick. I'm sure he's really got something to write home about tonight in the midst of all this, and also that long, nice run by Bucky Kelly.
And we saw one by Darden, too, at the beginning of the game. Okay, they got Jeff Thomas in their quarterback. That's the only change, it looks like. And he may have fumbled it, but I believe they got it back, and there's no gain. Brings up a 2nd and 10. That was Neil Darden stopped.
Sure, it looks easy, but I'm sure they're working hard out there.
We'll keep an eye out for any substitutions, by the way. They do go in the backfield, and Thomas just got ripped down. I mean, he was pasted.
Mike Patoxny sure stuffed up the middle, and some plays just aren't going to work no matter how you put them, no matter what the lead is, and that was one of them.
Let's go over the coaching staff for Pennridge very quickly here. Bruce Moyer, the head coach. Robert Hosier, the assistant, along with Jeff Jollenbach, Dave Hammerschmidt, and Ron Hockman. I just felt the urge to do that.
Certainly a good time.
Okay. Thomas. Oh, and he's hit hard.
Oh,
holy cow. Big defense by Dominic Cusimano. Oh, boy.
And there's a flag.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
The Eagles were the only ones around that. It would have to be on one of them.
Yeah, it is on the Eagles. You got that right.
If any time, this will probably be the best time to lose your cool with a 30-point lead and only a minute 50 left in this third quarter.
Let's see what it is here. 5-yard penalty.
Big number 61 Stoudemire subs in.
Okay, and Shimoleski. Second punt of the night for Mike. Gets a good one off. Bounces down to the 40 where it's picked up by Pennridge. Oh, and a big tackle. Didn't get very far.
That was Scott Sowers running that one.
That was Craig Jones making the hit.
And possibly their best starting field position of the day.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm sure it's a breath of fresh air to Chris Dalton, the Pennridge quarterback.
As they're at their 46. In fact, they've hardly spent any time at all within Norristown's end of the field. With
That's for sure.
1:27 to go in the third quarter. Dalton's got 3 men in his backfield. Looks to pass. Good pressure applied. He's almost sacked, but he rolls out to his right.
And tipped and bobbled and dropped by number 5. Bucky Kelly. And the backside pursuit was by Craig Jones. I was surprised. Dalton's pretty fast to be running away from Craig Jones. Of course, who wouldn't be running fast when Craig Jones is on your tail? I mean.
Yeah, Dalton got out of there in a hurry.
But another daring pass by Dalton.
Yeah, right into the hands of Bucky Kelly. He juggled it like a circus clown before finally letting it go.
And the cheerleaders are back up and cheering again.
Maybe we should spend the fourth quarter talking about the cheerleaders. Okay, it's a 2nd and 10. 1:17 to go in the third. It looks like 73 is it?
Lance Livingston
Yeah,
is being helped off the field.
he looks okay then. He's walking on his own accord. And he gets back.
Now he's jogging.
Yeah, gets back to the sideline by himself.
And of course, Mr. Flynn, the trainer, is helping him out there.
Along with a couple of student athletic trainers whose names we'd rather not mention for fear of mispronouncing them.
Pronunciation failures can be the end to anybody.
Okay, Dalton hands off up the middle. Excuse me. Short little game.
And now it's 3rd down.
That was to Kurt Fallon.
There'll be less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter by the time they get this snap off.
Jeff Natale made the tackle. 3rd down and 8 to go.
Jim Terra subs in for Pennridge.
Once again, this is Eric Halverson here with Brian Weber.
That's a true statement.
Okay,
As Jim Terra wide left.
Yeah, 2 receivers, and he fakes a handoff, play action. Oh, he fakes out number 61, runs away from number 65, and throws, and an incomplete pass intended for tight end. I believe that was Hollenbach.
And Jones hit him just as he let that one go. And also chasing from the rear side was number 65 of the Eagles, Jason Chavarria. And, of course, being run out of his socks a bit was Stoudemire, but that's a credit to him. He's pretty much all over the field himself tonight.
All right, and we're seeing, maybe seeing a couple of substitutions. Thomas comes out of the game. Oh, this is the punt. Once more, I misinterpret the punt formation. Hello, wake up time. That's a good punt. They let it bounce, and it takes a good Norristown bounce down by Pennridge. 24-yard line. You gotta warn me on these punts, Weber.
There have been a lot of punts, that is.
Especially by Pennridge. We know what that means.
That means the Eagles' offense is getting the ball a lot. And that also means that if you give the Eagles' offense the ball a lot, they're going to score.
That's the way it's supposed to be anyway. And that's the way it's been tonight. 30-0 once more. That ends the 3rd quarter. Oh boy, we got one more to go here.
And it certainly hasn't been any type of disappointment for the Norristown team as they are rolling over Pennridge.
Yeah.
Like a steamroller over cement. Wet cement, that is.
There's a good look at our Norristown cheerleaders. A fine group of girls. And the band
steps in.
Well, it's good to hear them again. They've been silent for a while. I believe this is a variation of Get Your Motor Running.
You know your music, I'll give you that much. You may not know when they're going to punt the football, but...
No, actually, it's Born to Be Wild. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, you do not know your football. You do not know your music.
Well, I knew the words. Looks like a punt for me. No, of course I'm only kidding. It's first and 10 for Norristown. In an I formation, and Thomas takes it himself. He's got good blocking, and he finds a lot of open field. He's hit, but he continues out of to the 40-yard line and pick up about 20.
And Mike Mikowicz was in there on the tackle.
Eric Peters made a good block that time.
The 40-yard line they sit, the 38, excuse me.
Wow, that band is good. If they had their own radio station, I'd be listening to it.
But
on Sunday afternoons, that is.
Maybe you might learn a few of the tunes.
Yeah.
the names, that is.
Oh, and a big run by Darden as he breaks tackles. Holy cow, he's all the way down to the 30, and he goes down there. Oh, boy.
They're in at the Pennridge 27, and on a serious note, Eric, the only reason we can come up with these brilliant analogies is because of the brilliant play formations and the working out of plays by this Norristown team, and I think you got to hand a lot of that over to Coach Grove.
Yeah, Coach Grove has this team rolling, and Darden comes up with another 30-yard gain. I think it's his second of the night. He's got probably close to 100 by now.
They're executing their blocks is what it all comes down to.
Okay, Thomas hands off to Harbaugh. He's got a little bit of, only a little bit of blocking. And he gets to the 25.
And number 34, Jim Terra, and number 41, Mike Mikovich, were in on the tackle.
Tough to fake out 2 men.
That's for sure.
10:38 to go in this game. Norristown pretty much has a lock. Wouldn't it be something to see a comeback here, though?
That would be something.
I'd like to see that. Even though I am a fan of Norristown.
Frankly,
anyway, Jackson rolls to the goes to the right.
Frankly, I'd be just as happy seeing the Eagles score 50. And comebacks are not easy to come by in this high school game.
No, either can beat the team or you can't.
That's basically what it boils down to. And also, if you can beat the team, do you do it? Do you execute?
Yeah, but usually in high school, you do it. There are very few upsets. And once more, we'd like to congratulate Norristown on their big upset of Abington last week. 14-13 victory. I think they scored 14 quick points and then held Abington the rest of the game.
I'm sure they stunned Abington out there.
They showed themselves to be a good football team once again tonight. They're looking forward to next week when they get to play CB East. Then they face North Penn on the road.
Yeah, they are not only beating Pennridge, but they're doing it handily.
All right. Looks like a 2nd and 18 for Norristown.
The draw. Draw play up the middle.
Yeah. Darden that was. Didn't get much. Under 10 minutes to go in this one.
It'll be 3rd down.
What more can we say? I'd like to actually see him get close to a 1st down, but not get it. Just because I'd like to see Miller try a long one. I'd like to see his foot.
Rodney does have a good leg on him.
Yeah. In fact, it was funny against Truman a couple of weeks ago. There's a couple of times that Norristown got a penalty, and it was assessed on the kickoff. They got to move up to the 50. I'll continue my story after this play. Okay, Thomas running again himself, and he's got the 1st down, and he goes all the way, touchdown! Woo!
And he just blew by Mike Milkowitz.
Holy cow.
That was unbelievable. His speed was uncanny as he popped through the middle, and his shifty moves threw off a few more defenders as he danced past the last defender.
Good description, and the band working its magic again.
And the cheerleaders making like the Rockettes again.
Maybe they've run out of footballs.
Unfortunately, it looks that way.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. Okay, Miller in to get the extra point. Now I can continue my story about Miller as he kicks this one through.
And that's good.
It was interesting last week because Eagles got to kick off from the 50 and the opposition's 45 a couple of times, and it was nice to see Rodney Miller going for he was looking for the field goal post on the kickoff. It was really fun to watch, and he hit him a couple of times from that yardage out. It was good to see how long his foot and how accurate it could be.
That's why he's their kicker. No one better in the Norristown High School establishment at kicking than him.
No, I don't think so. And he's been kicking since his sophomore year. I believe he's a junior now. He may have actually been kicking since his freshman year, although I doubt it. He'll be kicking off from the 40, as is standard in high school football. That makes it 37-0 for those of you who are still keeping score. Are you one of those?
Pennridge is just now trying to save themselves from larger embarrassment at this point.
Whoa!
Wow.
Hey, that was neat because the band was playing and it just seemed like he kicked it as soon as the band got to the climax of the song there.
And he did kick that hard, and besides that, the Pennridge kick returner coughed up the ball into his own end zone and finally had to down it.
So that's at the 20. I mean, that was wild. That was weird.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it'll be at the 20 for Pennridge. We'll see what they do here. You know, this is a time Pennridge can just work out some of its offensive schemes and try some experiments, actually.
Late subs by Norristown.
Yeah, we'll pick them up soon.
One of them was Carl Weaver.
And actually, Pennridge has a new quarterback in. That's Jason Clementes coming in. He's a junior. Of course, Dalton was a junior as well.
And nothing really against Dalton, but I don't think he can do much worse. If he puts any points on the board.
He led his team on a couple of drives, completed a few passes. I think he has hope for next year. Okay, and let's try and pick up some people who are in the game now. James Suber is out there. We haven't seen him all night. It's number 41. Anyway, handoff goes up the middle for Pennridge.
I think he got a yard on that. Maybe 2. It's going to be 3rd down in any case. And that Pennridge air attack looks obvious now.
Well, Jeff Natali made the stop there, and we're seeing a few more people come in for the game. That's Carl Weaver out there, number 66. He's playing offensive tackle right now.
As Craig Jones and Bucky Kelly exit.
We've got Dwayne Weldon out there, number 35. Pennridge quarterback jogs back, he throws, and he misses his man, number 24, Chad Morgan. Well, that Clementes missed his man big time there.
And had James Sober been able to keep his footing, he may have picked that one off. Not much of a chance, but...
Okay, we got Russell Hiddle out there. As now we're going to 4th down punt. I picked that one up, didn't I?
You certainly did, just as I was about to tell you, but gotta hand it to you there.
That's Jeff Thomas back with Chaiki Goodley. And punting once more is Jim Terra. That's a high, fairly deep punt.
That was a nice kick.
Caught by Goodley, and he's at the 45. That was a nice kick.
He's at the 50, and that was a beautiful kick. Had lots of height, lots of hang time. The coverage got down there.
It's officially spotted at the 49.
But as good a kick as it was, the Norristown Eagles have the ball in Pennridge territory.
Let's see if they put any offensive subs, excuse me. Playing in at quarterback, I believe, is Sean Scanlon, number 10. Okay, and he hands up the middle.
To Sober.
That's Suber.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
No, excuse me. No, I'm the dummy.
Oh, I'm the dummy.
Okay.
That was my fault. Like in this pronunciation handicaps.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have snapped.
Hey, in a game like this, you can snap as you please. The Eagles lead 37-0.
Okay, I did see Alan Adams out there on that last play. He's a substitution. Scanlon hands off to Chaikit Goodley. He breaks the tackle, gets to the outside for about 2.
This Pennridge team has one thing down, and that's grabbing the shirt and not letting it go.
Yeah, they are tackling fairly well now. If they can get a guy, if they can catch him from behind, they're bringing him down all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
If the guy just gets by him, you know, they're beat, but they are making some good tackles here.
And along all this big scoring and all, it's been quite a quiet day for Daryl Dobbs.
Yeah. Yeah, and Daryl Dobbs, by the way, is quite an athlete, but he wasn't always that way. In fact, I'm sitting here with the guy, Brian Weber, who taught him how to throw. Oh, but Scanlon just get sacked hard. We'll continue our story after we see who sacked him. I believe that was Dave Lawrence.
And the kicking team comes out there for, or the punting team, excuse me, for the Norristown Eagles.
Okay, but Brian, am I correct in stating that you taught Daryl Dobbs how to throw a ball?
Well, I'd hate to be humble, but he used to kind of hurl the ball from over his head. And finally, after throwing a few balls over the building, he did have a good arm. We decided we ought to teach this kid how to throw the thing.
Okay, that was back in elementary school. Oh, and Shemiluski gets off punt off to the right. Off the side of his foot, looks like he had good pressure in on him, though.
And
but it's down all the way to 15.
And by mentioning this, I'm not trying in any way to say that I'm the credit to Daryl Dobbs' success on the team this year.
Although he would like to take that credit because Dobbs has been a success.
That he has, and although a quiet day, he has certainly helped the team this year. And Pennridge will start on their own 10.
I'd like to further laud Dobbs in saying he's a nice guy. Good old Daryl.
That he is. It's always nice to have Daryl Dobbs out on the football field. Although, I recall a time in 2nd grade when he pulled the... I could see it, but he did pull the chair out from under me. The teacher really didn't know he was kidding. I did, but he got in a bit of trouble for that, and I'd like to publicly express my sorry to Daryl Dobbs for getting in trouble that time.
Oh, well.
Sorry, Daryl.
Boys will be boys.
And cheerleaders will be cheerleaders as they cheerlead the crowd.
Hey, but
below
I'm
us.
sure from now on the Norristown team will be looking around to see where they're sitting before they do anything.
That's for sure.
All right, we got a that's a first down and long. And quarterback hands off up the middle. Little or no yardage. That's still Clementis in that quarterback.
The running back there seemed to stumble over his own feet. And incoming for the Eagles, number 66, Carl Weaver. And out
is Jamie Petaccio. Good to see the subs get in.
Yeah.
4:23 to go in this game. 37-0 Eagles. 2nd and 15. Gained a 3 on the last play.
Long count.
Clementis looks to pass. He's got him and he hits him. That's number 34.
Moving backwards.
Oh, and he makes a nice nifty
there
move.
He goes.
He's got the sideline, but he's brought down from behind by Chaikit.
That was a nice move and probably a first down.
Yeah, that was Jim Terry. He did pick up the first down, but Chaikit Goodley caught him from behind.
I thought he really blew the play by running backwards, but he turned it back around, and he certainly made a nice run around the outside then.
It was a nifty move.
Nifty is a perfect description, Eric.
Why, thank you. We got 3:55 to go in this game. It's pretty much over. So I have a novel idea. What do you say we don't describe the rest of it? Haha, of course I'm only kidding.
Wouldn't that be something?
Let me paint the picture for you here. 37 zip, beautiful night, as we can't stress enough. A sumly crowd, meaning there's a large sum of people. A lot of punts, as we mentioned. And a good running game by Norristown. Coach Grove is happy. 2nd and 21. So there was obviously a penalty on that last play. Okay. Clementis, having his large play negated, looks to throw again. Oh, he dodges some tacklers and he gets
it looks like a safety. That it is. A safety for the Norristown defense.
It's good to see the defense get some points again.
As if the offense wasn't doing enough, the defense got in on there.
Excellent play.
Now 9 points credited to the defense today on that Tom Bacella interception. And of course, right here with the safety.
I'm not sure he tackled him. Looked like a couple of guys in blue.
And of course, as after every safety, Pennridge will punt from their own 20.
It's a free kick, actually. I believe they can choose to do what they will with it. Punting is usually the opted technique.
Yeah.
So Norristown will get the ball back. You expect them to run out the clock.
Yeah, but even when you say the Eagles are going to run out their clock, their running game is so good that even by running out the clock, they can gain yards or the big play and score.
That is so true. Well, those cheerleaders have put in a good night's work. They've got to be just as tired as the football players sometimes.
I'll say.
I mean, they're jumping around.
Kicking.
Yeah, kicking after every touchdown, which will wear me out.
The more the football players work, the more the cheerleaders work. And they're using the kickoff method.
Yeah, and I believe that's a new kicker. That's Kevin Boyle. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the old kicker. Okay, Norristown has it out close to the 50. They're 48.
And that was James Suber with the run back. A nice straight running technique, which pits the Eagles at the 48, 46,
47, we'll call it.
Okay. I'm glad you bailed me out there with an estimation.
Well, actually, what I did was I added your two numbers and I divided by 2. Very quickly, however. Okay, Sean Scanlon has 3 men in his backfield. They call that a full house. Could be called a wishbone. Anyway, hands up the middle. Pick up of about 2.
And the pile up stands at about the 49. Or the pile up lays, rather. There's 2:39 left in the game.
I believe Chris Salvo just carried that ball.
It's
nice.
2nd and 8.
Stopped by Mike Anthony. Okay. Scanlon, hands off again. Up the middle.
And they are again stopped.
That may have been Salvo again.
A very short gain.
What you're hearing is the Pennridge band. They just finished a song of their own.
But perhaps their band is not as effective as that of Norristown.
What you gotta say, it's comparatively good. Good bands tonight. Okay, Scanlon pitches back. That's Suber, breaks the tackle, and he gets chopped down out near the 50.
Not a first down. It's going to be 4th down, and that's definitely a punting situation. 1:27 to go in this game. And although Pennridge has really been beaten today, I'm sure their coach Moyer has done all he can with the talent he has given, and the players have worked their hardest today, and congratulations to them for a hard-working game.
Yep. They're going for it on 4th and 7 just to run out the clock a bit. No need to punt. You don't care about field position now. It's a little handoff underneath. Oh, that's Salvo taking a big hit but getting the first down. Oh boy. I would not like to have been him in that situation.
Me neither. And if he was a bit later, James Suber would have picked up that block for him, and he might have been gone.
I believe that was Darren Manuolo on the stop.
But in the midst of everyone flying everywhere and running your hardest, sometimes it's not always possible to slow down.
We've got 30 seconds to go in this game, a 39-0 lead for Norristown Eagles. I'd say they had it sealed right now. Okay, Scanlon runs what'll probably be the last play of the game, run up the middle. But who really cares? 16-15, this game's over.
14-13.
We're not going to take you to the rest of the numbers because we think you probably know them by heart now anyway.
And by now you're probably down to 4.
But we're only at 3. Well, that's it.
And that does it. The Norristown Eagles take over from Pennridge by the score of 39-0.
There you see the post-game handshakes. Good sportsmanship shown by both sides. And we actually saw a fairly close game at the beginning, and Pennridge did show some ability to move the ball towards the beginning of the game.
That we did. They showed us something tonight.
It just went out of control when they had to take the risks. When they took the risks, they didn't work for them. Had the risks worked like that trick play, this might have been a much closer game.
Yeah, perhaps Tommy Bacella's interception was one of the bigger plays of the game.
Yeah, I'd have to say
Not to discredit Andy Tallone's interception very early in the game that put the Eagles on Pennridge's 15 or 20 yard line.
Okay, that about does it for Roosevelt Field here tonight. Eagles are 5-3. Pennridge is 1-6. Good game played by all.